recording, Craig. That was a little weird. I'm not sure what that sound was. You know, I think my computer's died. Yes, I think it's time. Unfortunately, the market is not very good right now in terms of you know, buying parts for computers. So probably won't be this year for an upgrade. So we out here. We'll continue to do episodes as best as I can. Anyways, welcome back to the Believe You Don't podcast on this fine Sunday evening, on this fine, lovely, rainy weekend. You know, it's been a great January and February to start the year. We had Snowmageddon, Ice-mageddon, now we got Rain-mageddon. But, you know, as long as we don't float away on Noah's Ark and stuff, we good. But yeah, I want to do an episode on PlayStation's State of Play for February 2026. It happened on the 12th. I have to say, before I talk about the games, this was a banger ass State of Play. It truly was. From the announcements, some of the surprises. Now, obviously, there was a few things missing that I would have preferred to be here, you know, but it's whatever. Outside of that, what I was hoping would be here, not even expecting, but hoping, truly hoping, not expecting, but hoping. You know, that being obviously Final Fantasy VII Part 3 was not announced, talked about at all at the State of Play, which could be a good thing. Because for whatever reason, like the director of 7 Remake has been really talking it up the game for the past like several, like I would say 3 to 4 months, saying, you know, it's basically complete. They're just polishing it in a sense and whatnot. But I think why it's a good sign that it didn't show up at State of Play is because it's going to show up at Summer Game Fest with like I'd say Q1, Q2, 2027 release date. And the reason it not showing up at State of Play is a good thing because they've really pushed to go multi-platform. They saw the sales drop for obviously Remake and Rebirth, so they decided, you know, and I don't know how that contract necessarily works with Sony, but you know, I think it's overall a great thing for Square, for Final Fantasy fans, RPG fans, JRPG fans, for it to go multi-platform. You know, I know there's a lot of controversy. Like this one dude who's on Twitter or X that I follow. I actually really liked him when I first saw him through social media, and because he was a really big fan of Clair Obscur and what the game did, and he's a big Final Fantasy fan, but he just bashes Final Fantasy VII Remake, mainly Rebirth. Just so bad. Like, I know I bash games, but for what he does and how he criticizes Rebirth, I just don't think it's right. Rebirth was absolutely my game of the year in 2024. Should have won it over Astrobot. But it's a reimagining of the original Final Fantasy VII game. And I don't think that they are doing what he, like, the things that he's saying of why it's bad. it's just they're trying to retell it in a modern sense. There are a few things that I would agree with him on, but just how he puts down the game is just unfortunate for him to be such a. I wouldn't say he's a big presence in the Final Fantasy community, but he's all over my social media. I'm sure that's by design and shit, but still. Anyways, so the Square's really pushed this whole multi-platform for part 3. Like, Switch had Remake come out, and then Rebirth is coming this year also. And that's great. So I think it will be a Summer Game Fest announcement. I think Jeff has a pretty good relationship with Square. It's just been odd. Reason a lot of people thinking he was going to be here, not because the exclusive deal, going in a different direction and whatnot, but just the director has just been hyping up the game so much in terms of being almost done. It's been going well, and they decided to stick with Unreal Engine 4, not to switch over to 5. But just the way he's been wording things has getting a lot of people hyped and whatnot. And then for them to essentially be silent since a year, since Rebirth came out, it's odd. So, but yeah, I think that'll come out in 2027, the game, part 3, whatever it is. Maybe Reawakening, I don't know. Look forward to it, 100%. Yeah, that was definitely one of the bigger things that I thought was hoping it would be here. Wasn't. That's fine. I think there was a lot of rumors for DMC or Devil May Cry 6. Didn't show. So, either way, this was a banging ass state of play. So I'll talk about the games that were shown in order. I love GameSpot. I'll put them the article in the description if you want to go back and look at it. Otherwise, just go watch Sony's YouTube. Just rewatch it like I did. I don't know if anyone will join me, but if they do, they pop in. It's whatever. So let's get it kicked off. Like I said, it was supposed to be scheduled for about 60 to 70 minutes. And it actually went closer to 80 minutes, which was awesome. So, to start off, they showed off Kena, Scars of Kasamura. It is a sequel to 2021's Kena, Bridge of Spirits. And I think a lot of people were surprised by this showing up. Not that it was going to be done. I haven't played it. Donkey played it and loved it. I think I may try and play it this year. It's going to be hard before the sequel comes. They didn't give us a date, but it's 5 and PC. I hope simultaneously, and I'm hoping it'll come before GTA, just like everything else is trying to. Maybe a summer release date, maybe like September or something like that. So, but yeah, a lot of people loved the first one, and I could see why. The combat, the story, the environment, the animation, the art style, and everything looks awesome. And then Scars of Kasamura look even better. And they didn't state open world, but some of it looked open, at least open zone. So I think that's going to be awesome, and it looks great. So I look forward to that. Hopefully, Donkey you end up playing it and showing off for us if I don't get around to it. But I think I want to try and put Kena Bridge of Spirits on my list to play this year if I have time. So next up, we had another. I wouldn't say surprise, but in terms of release date, I think people were like, that's good. Ghost of Yotei Legends. So Ghost of Tsushima, I think it was 2020 when that came out. They shadow dropped their Legends, which is basically multiplayer of their single player game. And Ghost of Yotei Legends is coming in March 10th. So March is going to be like February, the end of February to the whole month of March has a lot coming out. So getting an early date for March, I think, is a good sign for them. And it's free. It's a 4-player co-op, and it's demonic versions of the base game's Yotei 6. So I didn't play Tsushima or Yotei. I highly doubt I ever play them. It's not that I don't like the feudal aged games. They're pretty cool. It's pretty neat history wise. But I don't know. It just something. I've just never give it a try. But I know a lot of people love Tsushima and Yotei, so that was a good announcement for sure. Next up, we had Death Stranding 2 it's a PC port. So obviously it came out last year on PS5. Now it's coming to PC. I think that was a pretty good turnaround, probably 6 months. So I hope Sony continues to push their PS5 exclusives coming sooner and sooner to PC. So a lot more players get in there and get to play their games. So that comes March 19th, actually. So that's another March release date. So if you're into Death Stranding, you've already beat it once and you want to play it on PC, by all means. Next up, we had 4 Loop. This is a Bad Robot Games game. I just looked them up. They apparently are a TV film studio who is the CEO is freaking J.J. Abrams, but they've only been doing video games for not too long, and they haven't really done anything major. Like, I guess their first one was an action movie FX on the iOS, and then you had Weird West is the only one that released on consoles, and you had Moonbreaker was PC only, and then Silent Hill Ascension was freaking web browser. So it's a co-op action roguelite where groups of 4 choose missions based on a multi-branching grid called the probability map. So it looks neat. I wouldn't say it captures the eye by any means, but could be cool of what they described and stuff. So they didn't give us a date. I guess it's still pretty early in the stages, but a playtest is confirmed for the near future. So that was kind of their announcement here at the State of Play. Next up, we got another look at Pragmata. It was a story trailer finally between this weird little girl and the dude, I guess, on this broken planet of Earth, I guess, because in the trailer, the dude is talking about how he said this area actually looks like a different version of New York City. It was like a broken down version of New York City and stuff. So, but yeah, this is a Capcom game. Capcom really showed up. They're doing big things again this year. They continue their streak of good ass video games besides Exoprimal and not putting Dino Crisis and remaking it shit. It's whatever. I'm tired of talking about this. Anyways, another thing about Dino Crisis, just to throw the fuel into the fire, they released or did a sale on Dino Crisis 1 and 2 on Steam. And they put this, I didn't know what this was, but a DRM, I think, on their games, which he was explaining it to me. I guess it doesn't allow to be modded on their versions, but it also makes the versions run like shit. So it's kind of stupid. Who knows? I don't know why they keep teasing things with Dino Crisis. I'm just tired of it. Exoprimal suck dick. Just remake it, bro. Just remake it or fully remaster. I don't care. To modern consoles, you need to. I know y'all are on a generational run of Resident Evils, but it's time. Dino Crisis 1 and 2 were banger ass video games. 3 we don't talk about. But 1 and 2, awesome. As I sit here and complain, I obviously bought Dino Crisis 1 and 2 because I want to replay them. 2, 1's great because it gives the Resident Evil 1 and 2 vibes of scariness. 2 takes it a little bit more action-y, like Resident Evil 3. So there's a portion in 2 that I absolutely love. I can't wait to play whenever I do get a chance. And it's unfortunate because Resident Evil 2 is not on PlayStation, like the classic catalog for some reason. Or I would have bought it there. But yeah, they had a 50% off on both of them. It ended up just being $9. So I was like, you know what, I'll grab it. So, Pragmata, I think we've already gotten the launch date, but it's April 24th. And now there is a playable demo. I guess there was only one on the Switch, but now it's on PlayStation or PS5. So, then we got another look at Resident Evil Requiem or Resident Evil 9. It, launches in a couple weeks. So, showed off some more stuff. The biggest thing was Leon. He's definitely older now. And at the end, it shows him going back to the Raccoon City Police Department where he started with Resident Evil 2. And, that's going to win a lot of fans over in terms of just buying the game. So, I think it's going to be awesome. I myself am trying to get all my affairs in order as long as the child doesn't come beforehand for game beating. Black Hammer and I finally made some headway on Grounded 2 update. I'm hoping maybe this week, tomorrow and Friday, Saturday, we can knock it out. Because we're kind of the people who just do the update and then wait. We're not going to sit there and build shit or whatever. And then Jordan, Kiwi, and I are trying to beat No Rest for the Wicked until their next big update. And I think we're really close. We're on the last or second to last main quest. And then we'll dip into the end game. I don't know how long that'll last. Yeah. That game's awesome, by the way. No Rest for the Wicked. So yeah, trying to finish that. I'm pretty much done with Pokemon Legends Z-Day. I actually ended up completing the Pokedex. Well, except for one. And the reason you can't complete it is you have to get to a certain spot in this stupid Infinite Royale, which I'm close. But I'm also doing all the side missions before the DLC side missions start. So I'm pretty much done for that. Took a break from Digimon because that's going to take a minute because I have to replay the whole game and shit. So I do want to get back to those DLCs. So anyways, I'm trying to beat all those games before, not this coming week, but next, and getting everything ready so I can play Resident Evil as quickly as I can before the child comes because I love Resident Evil. This one looks awesome, and they're usually not very long games to begin with, but you play them once for story, and you get replayability, afterwards, unlocking all the not powers, but guns and shit. So look forward to it. Next up, we had the Legacy Kain Defiance Remastered. So this is a remaster of the final chapter of the Legacy of Kain series. It's coming to PS5 and PS4 March 3rd. I never played Legacy of Kain. I might have played a demo back in the day, on my PS1. It never really interested me, but I know there is a cult, that it has a cult following for sure. And what they've already done with these remasters looks awesome. I think you can actually go back and forth, switching to the old graphics and the new full remastered graphics. It looks awesome. I'm glad, these older franchises are getting the love that they deserve. There's obviously plenty more that I would prefer. But it's whatever. That could be another episode. Next up, we had Dead or Alive. Talking I guess the maker of Dead or Alive came on and talked about it. Dead or Alive 6, last round. It's getting a updated version with photo mode, visuals, and a free-to-play version. So that launches on June 25th of this year. Then, at the end, they showed a teaser trailer of the series' 30th anniversary. I guess it's a Dead or Alive project, which probably means a Dead or Alive 7. So, I'm sure that was a good tease for Dead or Alive fans, DOA fans. Next up, they showed off more Control Resonant from Remedy. This game looks insane. It gives it's not Tenet. What's the freaking movie with Leo in it? Inception. It gives Inception vibes. Obviously with weird ass combat, because I guess it's a melee focused combat game. But it's an alternate. It showed an alternate version of New York City, and it looked awesome. I hope it finds its way. Then we had a trailer for Crimson Moon. It's a third-person action game. It seems to be co-op, because in the trailer you had one person fighting with you. It looked a little generic in a sense, but the combat looked awesome, and all the gore and stuff looked great. So apparently you're playing as a half-man, half-angel knight who is tasked with fighting horrific demons. It's supposed to come out later this year. Then we had Beast of Reincarnation. This is the Game Freak people, who obviously make Pokemon. They're trying something different. Third-person action game. It looks awesome. I hope this does well, and I hope I'm able to play it. They did confirm a release date of August 4th. I hope it does well. Then Rayman got a 30th anniversary edition. I never played Rayman back in the day. I know a lot of people did. It's a, for sure a beloved franchise for PlayStation. So then we got Mina the Hollower. I think a lot of people, this is kind of like a Hollow Knight type deal where it just kept getting pushed and we didn't know a lot about it. But then they literally show up the state of play, and it's getting a PS5 exclusive and a release date of spring 2026, which is odd considering, spring, like, what? I don't know. I hope it does good. Then we got a trailer for Neva Prologue. I know a lot of people love the indie Neva. Then we got a Yakoa Shinobi Ops. This is a sick-ass name for a video game, by the way. I don't know what this style is, but it gives Age of Empires vibes over the top of the character and shit, and you're really small and you're in the buildings, but then when you fight, I think you actually go into the gameplay of first person or third person, up close, and you're fighting. I don't know, it was weird. Could be cool for whoever's into this, but it's set to launch in 2027. Then we got I think this is another game of the Asia project for Sony called Project Windless. It's basically a big cock who's fighting with a sword. I'm just kidding. It's not a cock. I can't remember what the actual. It's a chicken, but it's a style of chicken, or I don't know, in the terms of Asian lore. But yeah, it definitely gives Dynasty Warrior vibes. Um, it was just slashing through things. Looked a little choppy for sure, which means I know it obviously has Project Windless in it, but it looks really early. I wouldn't say really early, not even like alpha, but like, they're gonna have to polish up some things and um optimize some stuff for to run good. So look cool though. Then we got another look at Star Wars Galactic Racer, bro. Freaking pod racing looks awesome. I think it didn't show a date, but I'm pretty sure it said 2026 at the Game Awards. So, and then we got another trailer of 007 First Light. If you're into 007 from a movie standpoint or a video game, nothing will ever beat like GoldenEye. So, still special launch May 27th. Then, like, Konami goes on this masterful run at the State of Play. They showed off the Master Collection Volume 2. Obviously, Master Collection 1 came out, I think, like 2024, maybe? I want to say. A lot of people weren't happy with how it came out. But here, they showed off that they're going to Collection Volume 1 is going to receive an update with higher resolution visuals and other improvements, which that's great. I wish I would have bought it, and maybe I'll end up, if I have a lull in video games, I would love to go back and play the first one. I never played 2, 3, 4, 5, anything after that, but I played the shit out of the first one. So, like Metal Gear Solid. Obviously, you have a older one, but yeah. Master Collection Volume 2 is going to include PSP's Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of Patriots. I think there was something else. There was like another mission or something. But yeah, this is like the first ever port for MSG4 since the PS3 in 2008. They haven't been able to port it over and shit. So that's great. Then we got Darwin's Paradox. It's this octopus. I don't know. But there's a demo coming, or it's out now by the time you listen to this. It pays homage to Metal Gear Solid. Then Konami was like, hey, here's Castlevania, Belmont's Curse. Because I guess it's the 40th anniversary of the Castlevania series. It's a legendary franchise for sure. It is it's a 2D Castlevania adventure. Looks awesome. If you're into Castlevania and these type of video games. Then we had a look at Silent Hill Townfall. It launches this year. Another franchise I just never really got into, but I know the franchise is awesome. A lot of people love it. Then one that was shown off was just random as shit. Rev Noir. It's a anime infused RPG. I don't know why. I just don't know. But good luck, I guess you could say. Then we got a John Wick game with Keanu shown off. The gameplay, if it is the real gameplay, looks amazing. And the CGI for the cinematics and stuff look awesome. I've never been a big fan of the John Wick films because they all look the same. But you know, Reeves is a legendary actor. Apparently, he's a good dude. So I'm sure a lot of people will play this game. Still no release date. So then they showed off Marathon, more, gameplay, story ish about Marathon. And then their biggest thing was something called a server slam, where, they're trying to test the servers and shit. But that's happening February 26th to March 2nd, ahead of the actual launch March 5th. So if you're into extraction shooters, I think they're going to take a different approach to it, kind of like Arc Raiders in a sense, but they're definitely putting their spin on it from Destiny with raids and whatnot. I don't know with Arc Raiders. I hope it does well. Bungie's Bungie. So then they talked about PlayStation Plus, what's coming to it. Finally, Spider-Man 2 is coming on the 17th. I will be re-upping so I can grab that because I want to play 2 for sure. Then Tekken Dark Resurrection comes in March. Then we have a PS1 port of Time Crisis. I love Time Crisis in the arcade, bro. I think I mainly played Time Crisis like 2 or 3. One of the best shooters you could play, for sure. And then House's open world co-op game called Big Walk. It launches on PlayStation Plus later this year. Next up we had more gameplay of Saros. It was really them talking about their new system, their hero or their comeback system or something like that. This game continues to look awesome. If you liked Returnal, I'm sure you're absolutely going to love this because it's essentially, I wouldn't even say an expansion, but it looks exactly like Returnal. I'm sure they're going to refine some things, but you obviously have a different character and a high profile actor in Cooley playing the main guy. So, and that launches April 30th. Then we got to look at Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Marvel is literally just killing in terms of video games. But they showed off the Unbreakable X-Men team within the game. So I think Tokon, you fight with teams. It's not just like 1v1. I could be wrong. But they showed off Magic, Wolverine, and Danger. And then we got a release date of August 6th. Then, to end the show, 2 big things. First one, a teaser, then another one was like a shadow drop, which was awesome. But there's been so much rumors, or so many rumors about what Santa Monica Studios, the people who did God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, what they've been doing. But they finally have confirmed they're doing the original 3, the original trilogy, as a remake. So that was awesome to see. They didn't show any gameplay, even models or anything like that, just tease. But then the original voice actor came on and talked about it and whatnot, which was awesome. Obviously, we have Christopher Judge for the newer ones, and I hope he continues to do the newer ones, and I hope we get another God of War in the next century. But everyone loves God of War 1 through 3. I'm curious to see how they do the combat, what it looks like, how much they change. there's some scenes in the first couple ones that I'm not sure how they're going to get by with it in today's society. Unfortunately, even though it's just a video game, but we'll see. But it was awesome for them to tease this and finally tell us that they're making this. It's pretty early stages from what the voice actor said, so I could imagine, and I hope they all come out at the same time. They don't do like freaking Final Fantasy's doing. It takes 7-8 years. These were obviously just action-packed games, so I feel like they shouldn't take as long because you don't have like RPG aspects of it. So I hope they all come out at the same time. And then the last thing that the voice actor showed off was another game by Santa Monica Studios. Well, Santa Monica Studios and Mega Cat Studios. God of War Sons of Sparta. This is, I guess, been the other game that's been rumored, a 2D game by them. But it's a pixel art aesthetic and it has side-scrolling gameplay. And it actually, like I said, it said 2026, and then they were like, nah, Shadow Drop today. So it came out that day of the State of Play, and it's $40. Unfortunately, it only has couch co-op, and you have to beat the game to unlock the couch co-op. I think that's pretty shitty. It's obviously neat that it's a new God of War game. It's actually a prequel for Kratos of when he's a young Spartan. So, I don't know. I may give it a go. We'll see. I'm sure it's not that long. But just because I like God of War, because it literally has God of War 2018 combat in a sense in it. It's just a side scroller. So, could be neat. We'll see. Well, that was an awesome way to end the show. Like I said, this was an amazing State of Play, especially for the last few that we've had. Because, like, starting off with Kena and then ending with God of War teaser and a Shadow Drop game is awesome. And everything in between that was still great. The pacing was awesome. Really, the only things that necessarily turned me off was the Rev Noir shit, 007, and then the Shinobi Ops. The rest of this, I think, was awesome for them, what they showed and stuff. It's still kind of also shitty that Resident Evil did not put out a demo. Like they've always done demos even for the remakes that they've, did 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they did a demo for 7 and 8. I don't understand why they didn't do for 9. Maybe, I don't know. They've shown off so much of the game. Maybe that was their thinking. People already know what it's going to be like because we obviously got the 4th remake, and we know of Leon, what he is. And then for Grace, it's more like Ethan in 7, so I guess you could, I don't know. It was pretty odd for them to not do a demo, but yeah, the game's going to do awesome. So, but yeah, that was the State of Play for PlayStation in February. Looks awesome. Like I said, still want, Square to talk about 5-7 Part 3, but I think that really is going to be a Summer Game Fest thing now. So, but yeah, thank you for joining me and listening to me talk about this. I think we have all 3 big people showing off their State of Play shows or whatever now with, Switch or Nintendo, Xbox, and now PlayStation. So it's going to be maybe a few more months before the next one. Or it may even be, summertime before they really show something else off. I'm sure Sony will show off something because they don't like to do as much stuff with Jeff there. So, but yeah, thank you for listening. Remember, go follow us on Spotify, give us ratings. Go to our YouTube, leave comments if you listen to us that way. Any support's great. Any sponsors that want to hit us up, hit the email, hit me up. Raid Shadow Legends. We still out here. Anything, whatever. So, but yeah, thank you for listening. We'll go ahead and end it there. So remember, you can continue to believe us if you don't. Peace.